try to find some time for yourself and do something creative, some kind of creative outlet to kind of let steam go and put away any type of work and just be free, take some time for yourself, maybe do a little something creative.
I'm Junaid Ahmed, host of Hacks and Hobbies podcast and a digital presence advisor at Humble Zone. This episode is brought to you by Home Studio Mastery. I launched a consultation and course program to help podcasters and course creators to create a space in their homes that will reduce the friction of creating content and appearing their best when showing up on camera. The pandemic gave us a lot of issues, but this one is here to stay. We're now so much closer to our audience thanks to video becoming more popular and affordable. I help guide folks who want to create Hollywood-worthy studios to not only capture great content, but also build more confidence, more authority, and be more comfortable in front of the camera. If I can do it, you can too. And with my help, you can do it faster. So if you'd like to learn more, visit homestudiomastery.com and how you too can create a home studio that brings out your personality, professionalism, and possibilities. Thank you for tuning in to Hacks and Hobbies with your host, Junaid. We're visited by our amazing guests coming from all walks of life. Want to learn their story, their struggles, and their journey on how they got to where they are today. So stick around. Today we get to speak with Suzan Manis, an artist, mother, and a new children's author from Dale City, Virginia. She recently published a children's book called The Land of All Work and No Play, about a young boy learning some life lessons. This book has been a very personal and special project for Suzan, as it is a tribute to her late mother who inspired her to create the book. Suzan in this episode is telling us about the book and the process she went through along the way. Let's listen into this episode as Suzan describes her process. Suzan, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So Suzan is she's a sister of my really good friend, Errol Erdeman. We had Errol Erdeman in season 1 of the podcast. Really amazing human being. He's moved away, so we talked in the green room about how, we kind of miss him because he's in a different state now. So Suzan, tell us a little bit about yourself and what's going on.
Okay. Well, so about myself, I am an artist, illustrator, and I'm a recent new author of a children's book.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you. So I want to talk about that and kind of how I got to that point and why I decided to do it. But originally I started out just doing art, and I've just always loved being creative. Mm-hmm. Did all different types of art mediums, and so from there I wanted to create something, and this gave me an opportunity to use my talents, art illustration, along with storytelling. And this is something that I've done. This is something very personal project to me. Mm. Other than that, I have a regular full-time job and other things, but so if I found some time to create something,
That's really amazing. What inspired you to go in the creative space? Was that something that you've been doing for a while?
Well, and if you're talking about just being creative in itself, I always kind of try to find time. I do have a family. I have 4 little ones. Yeah. So it's hard to find time to be creative.
Absolutely.
Because they you constantly be with them, and which is great. But I've always been an artist since I was little. I went to art school. Luckily, I had supportive parents. Mm-hmm. It was very helpful. That helped me to really pursue my art. And after that, it's just trying to find times to do creative things. I think as an artist, you need that. And it could be just here and there whenever I find time. Yeah. It could be just little things, maybe drawing or making something out of your hand, by hand, when I can. Now that I have kids, it's a lot harder to do that, but I just, trying to make some time in ways or doing freelance work in the arts. Yeah.
Did you also encourage your kids to be creative and, do painting and stuff like that?
Yes. Oh yeah. And they do. They like to do it. They enjoy our class, and whenever they make something, I think it's great. I don't try to push them one way or the other. I like them to just have fun,
Yeah.
and just create what they feel in the moment. And I love it. I love to see it. I think it's great. Yeah. So they like to play around, and I think I see some stuff there. I don't know, something in the blood, but yeah, I just love it when they have fun and like to create things.
All right, so that's pretty cool. You mentioned earlier that you grew up in Virginia. Tell us a little bit, about how is it growing up with Errol? Maybe we'll pick a little bit on Errol over here.
Oh goodness. Well, so yeah, I mean, we grew up together, in Virginia, and very close. I think as growing up, as we're younger sibling, at each other. But I think as we grew up older, we became close, and yeah, he's inspired me a lot with things. I think he also helped me to inspire me to also to do the book and other things as well. Yeah, so
that's pretty
luckily,
cool.
it was nice when he was around and things, but still keep in touch. Yeah, I know he's right and stuff. Yeah,
nice. So during the pandemic, this was probably when you had some more time, right, to work on your book and your art and illustrations. Was that how it inspired you to find more time to start working on this thing?
Yes, it was actually the pandemic that made me do the book.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, for years and years, I have been saying that I'm going to do this. So the book is actually for my mom, our mom.
Mm-hmm.
So our mother passed away in 2006. And she was very talented. She was an artist, but her thing was she was a writer. Mm-hmm. And when she passed, she left the story, left these wonderful things behind. And even when she was around, she would tell us things and stories. And so for years, I had wanted to do something to honor her, and I know that she had wanted her stuff to be out there as well. But it was the pandemic, really, ironically, that was when I had time to actually sit down and do it.
Yeah.
Because I've always been so busy doing so many things. And when the pandemic hit, everything shut down. And I really wasn't working. Mm-hmm. I was like, you know what? Let's kind of turn this around and let me focus on this book. So then every day I was just doing drawings, illustrations, and just different things. And I finally, put it together. But it's crazy because years and years I've wanted to do this. But when the pandemic hit, I finally kind of had the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It's almost like we need a T-shirt that says "Pandemic made me do it."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, it's true. When it hit, a lot of bad things happen, of course, and it affected a lot. But yeah, it did kind of make you want to stop and kind of reassess, and look at everything. So yeah.
No, that's amazing. So the illustration, the book is about your mom, and you have stories in there. So you're telling a story along with these illustrations. When is it coming out, and what kept you motivated and keep creating? Keep putting more and more stuff in it. Did you get input from your family, input from your brother, your siblings, and whatnot?
Yes. So the book is actually one story. And it's a story that it's an adaptation. Mm-hmm. So it has some of her words in it, but it's kind of my telling. So it's a story that she would kind of tell me and my brother before we'd go to bed. It's like a bedtime story.
Yeah.
And I always thought that it was a really good story. It was very original. I think it's original. You haven't heard it before. And it kind of, I know it spoke to us. And we've always enjoyed it. Even Errol loved it. So he thought it'd be a great idea also to do it.
Yeah.
And what kind of got me going and motivated is I don't know, just in the back of my mind, it's just thinking about my mom. I mean, really, she's a driving factor, and also something to leave for my family as well. Something that can have something for my kids, to kind of to see and look back, like, oh, this is kind of like from grandma, when your mom did this.
Yeah.
So I think really back of my mind is thinking about her and how I really wanted to do this, and I thought it was something for my family. It really motivated me and like pushed me to keep doing it. And she always supported me too. She, when I felt down or didn't feel, feel like maybe I can't do this, she always supported. She's like, no, if you put your mind to it, you're gonna do this. And so the back of my mind, I mean, just kept thinking about that, and yeah, it really motivated me.
That's amazing. And it's true, right? Our parents are really supportive no matter what we do. It's something that our kids gets to create. I mean, I have 3 kids myself, and when they create something, they're proud of it, and then we have to be proud of it as well, because then it gives them the encouragement to keep going down that path and creating works of arts.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
So you have 3 little ones yourself?
I do, yes. I have a 12-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 4-year-old daughter.
Oh my gosh, I have a 12-year-old. I
Nice.
have a 7-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, around the age.
Around the same ages. That's
So
awesome.
you know what it's like to look
Oh, I
at.
know exactly what it's like. It's a little quiet in the house right now because they're all gone out with their mom.
Uh,
We have some evening classes that they go to.
oh, nice.
Awesome. So that was really awesome, Suzanne.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for sharing, your origin story, where you come from and your passion for arts and creating new things. Really wishing you the best success in launching your children's book. I mean, it's amazing. I had my son, go down that same path where he created a story, and we're like, "Well, we need a character and we need a story." So he's like, "All right, we have a character here." And it was this little stuffed animal that my younger son had, and he
Aw.
always called him Cuddles. It was like a polar bear. So then
Oh,
my older son took that polar bear, created this 6-page illustration, all just drew it out. And I
yeah.
was like, okay, now we got to turn it into a book. So we went and looking for an illustrator online,
Oh.
and we're like, okay, who can illustrate this the best way to, find an authentic style of illustration.
Mhm.
So then we found an illustrator. About a month later, we were completed the book. The book was complete, but it took me
Wow.
another 3 months to actually publish it on Amazon. So now it's on Amazon. My son, who's 12 years old, is a published author,
Oh my gosh.
and he's already
Wow.
got a second
It's
and a third
incredible.
book illustrated and colored. We just need to, find an illustrator or go
Oh
back to the
my
same illustrator
goodness.
and, create this. So having access to technology, having access to, what's possible in this
Mhm.
day and age is pretty amazing.
That is
So now
amazing.
that you tell me
Yes.
that you're an illustrator, maybe you can illustrate some books for us.
Sure, I would love to. That would be great. Yeah. You let me know.
Yeah. So, what's the name of your book, and how can people get to it? And then after you share that, we're gonna go on a break, and then we can come back and share 3 hacks to take away that people can learn from this book. We get burned out from
Okay.
working all the
So the book
time,
is
and there's
out and it's
always
called
work. And I
The
know my
Land of All
kids
Work
always
and No
like, "Why do
Play.
we need to do all the
You
work?
can
Why can't
find it
do you do
on a
it?"
few different
So,
online
Susan, take it
retailers.
away and
So
share
pretty
some
much it's based
hacks
off, you can find it
that people
online, it's
can,
print to demand. I
apply in
actually have a
their
website
lives.
too that goes directly to me. It tells a bit
Okay.
about the book,
So
about
thinking
me.
about some
And
hacks,
that one you can go to, I'll
I
give you a link.
guess,
Is
also you
to
can find
find
it
try to find some time
on
for a site
yourself
called
and do something
bookbaby.com.
creative.
Okay.
So that's actually
Some
publisher
kind
of
of
the book.
creative outlet.
So they have their own
To
shop.
kind of
You
let
can go on
steam
there.
go and
Some other sites
kind
that
of
you can go to.
put away
You can
any
go to
type of
Target
work and
just be
online
free.
and
Find
you know,
it.
take some time for
There's
yourself.
bookshop.org.
Maybe do a little something creative.
There's also on
I guess another
Amazon
hack
as
too is
well, I
kind of
believe.
the
So
going with the
yes,
book
there's a few
and the
different
message I kind of want
online
to portray
sites
with
that
the
you
book
can
is
link
that
to.
even though it
To
says
find
the
it as
land of
well
all work and no
as
play,
really the kind of underlying message is to kind of be thankful for what you
which will
have.
take you directly to my page.
Don't take it for granted.
You can purchase it
Be
through there as
content,
well.
yeah.
And yes, and I think that a lot of times we
go through
can,
that site,
and especially
I
too,
will
this is
sign
a
up
children's book,
personally
and
and
it's
write a
kind of
nice
based off of
message
a
on
little
it.
kid.
Nice.
It really could be any kid.
Awesome. I see.
And
I see some
you
sites
know,
here,
sometimes I
and
think
we'll
kids
be sure
they
to
take things for granted, you know,
link
get things too
all the
easily.
links
You know,
that
we
you
give them
shared on
everything,
the
which
show
you know we
notes.
do because we love
So
them
we'll
and
be right back,
we want
guys.
to. But I
Go
think
check out
sometimes
that
kids
book,
don't
and we'll be
realize
right
that,
back.
you know, how good they have it, like, you know, that they have a roof, or they have someone to care for them. And you know, that's kind of the underlying message, is kind of don't take things for granted. If you know, if you do, or you're going the wrong path, you know, there is stuff that is out there. It is fictional. I don't want to give too much away about the book.
Of course.
But I hopefully you'll get kind of underlying message that in the end, I think the boy realizes that he has it pretty good at home. And yeah, you shouldn't take it for granted, and live each day to the fullest. You may not have another one, kind of thing.
I love that, because we here at Hacks and Hobbies, we have a ton of hobbies, and that helps us keep the, you know, all work and no play kind of to the side, because we will bust out our Lego sets and our, you know, our woodworking and our beekeeping and our cycling, because life is more than just work. You know, you gotta have a more holistic view of what we do with life. And you know, I love that. I mean, reading the description here, it's really fascinating. You know, following along as a young boy learns the importance of treating others with kindness and appreciating everything. And you're right. You know, we gotta appreciate what we have, being content with what we have, because, and that's the situation with my kids. You know, sometimes I want them to eat their food, and they don't want to eat food, and you know, I try to remind them, hey, you know, there are kids in the world that don't even have a roof over their heads. You know,
exactly.
It's really, really insane how good we have it, right? So trying to teach those lessons to our kids, because, you know, they are kids and we want them to succeed in this world. So having these stories, or having these experiences is so important. And then living the best life, it's, you know, possible in the space that we have available, is also so important. So thank you so much for sharing the 3 hacks that we can take away. It's always applicable, no matter what age you are at.
Yes. we're always learning too. I think, you know, that's how life is. It's just you learn every day, and you try to grow, you know, as a person. I think it's a lifelong.
It's a lifelong journey. Exactly. Absolutely. All right, Susan. So this is a point of episode that we ask these fun little questions to our guests and see what we get. So first question, what is the one hobby that you wish you got into?
So I know I mentioned something, airbrush, but I was thinking more, and I was thinking stained glass.
Stained glass.
So yeah, I've always been fascinated by glass and how they make it. I think it's really cool, and I love stained glass too, because you can do so many different patterns and designs, and so beautiful. I could just light. Yeah, I would have liked to get into that.
Nice. No, stained glass are a very creative way of representing what you love to do. So that's definitely top notch skill to have. Next question. What did you want to be when you were a child?
So when I wanted to be a child, so when I was young, we used to watch kind of old movies, kind of the black and white stuff. I did with my mom, and I looked up to an actress called Shirley Temple. Now, some people might not know who that is. Do you know who Shirley Temple is?
I've heard of the name. I don't remember what she looked like.
Well, she was a child actress. I can't remember, but it was like in the old black and white film. She did singing and dancing. And I was little, and I was like, oh my gosh, this little girl's a star. Yeah. I want to be just like her. I want to be in the movies. I want to dance. I like to dance. And so I was like, oh yes, I want to be just like her when I grow up. Of course, I never really got into the acting stuff because I actually found out I was stage fright when I
Hmm.
did my first play. So I don't think that's going to work, but I do like the dancing. But yeah, I looked up to her, this little girl. I was like, I'm going to be just like Shirley Temple. Yeah.
Very cool. I like it. I like it. Next question. What is your favorite movie or TV show?
That's a hard one. I like a lot of shows, a lot of
You like
things.
shows?
So I guess let's see. I'm into fantasy, sci-fi. Okay, so there's a show I really like called The Witcher. I'm into the
Okay.
sci-fi kind of stuff. Yeah. So like that, or I like period stuff. So I guess
Mm.
yeah, I like kind of period shows or kind of sci-fi supernatural things. Yeah.
Did you see The Grimm?
Oh, that was good. Yes.
That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go back and catch up on that one. That was a good show. All right, so fantasy, sci-fi, stuff like that. I like
Yeah,
it.
it's my favorite.
Yeah, same here. I like a lot of sci-fi and fantasy.
Oh,
Right
nice.
now I'm watching. What am I watching? I just finished watching The Moon Knight.
Oh, me too.
That was
I really
really,
liked it.
it's really
Yes.
good. Really well
Had
done.
an interesting ending to the series. I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to the rest. Yeah.
yeah. It's gonna be the whole Marvel universe is my favorite.
Oh, yeah. I just saw Doctor Strange, the multiverse. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
I need
so
to go
good.
watch that. I've been holding off. I need to go see it.
Oh,
All right, next question. What movie would you choose if you got to play a character in it?
oh, that's interesting. If I could be any character in a movie, well, so I do like the superhero movies,
Mm-hmm.
and my favorite superhero, I guess. Well, I love Wonder Woman. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
heck, if I could be Wonder Woman or
Yeah.
something like that, or I love the Flash. Could be a
Mm-hmm.
girl Flash. There's a girl Flash. So I
Yeah.
guess it'd be fun to be in one of those in a superhero Marvel movie. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Well, lucky for you, I can ask you the next question. Who is your favorite superhero?
Well, my favorite hero, I guess, of all time is the Flash.
Hmm.
I just love that the speed. They can go
Yeah.
so fast, and you can go pretty much anywhere in the world and be back in like a minute.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just always have loved the Flash. I feel like if I could have any superpower, that's the one I want. Yes, you can also time travel with that. So
That's right.
yeah,
He time travels and he solved multiple problems and created even more
and more
problems.
problems. Right, you shouldn't time travel. I know that. Yeah.
Right, right. I shouldn't
Watch
do
only
it, but
sci-fi movies. Do not time travel.
exactly, they all talk about it, but it's so fun to do.
Yeah.
In fact, I have uh, the Back to the Future DeLorean back here. I just put
Oh,
it back down. It's the new Lego set that just came out.
oh,
I can't wait to
I'm
build it.
obsessed with Legos. So I have the Ghostbusters
Oh,
car.
nice,
I built
nice.
that, and I think I might do the one that- right now, the DeLorean that you just did. Yes,
The
I love
DeLorean,
Back
yeah,
to the Future.
yeah.
Yeah, didn't they think that that was going to be how it is now with the cars and the skateboards? Right, it should be like that now.
It should be, yeah. We are in that time. We just haven't had anybody been able to create the technology that they, you know, foresaw
Yeah.
in the year 2000. Last question. If you were a board game, what would it be?
I love board games.
Hmm.
So let's see. If I was a board game, that's a good one. What would I be? Well, let's see. Hmm. It's funny because I played a lot of board games and never really
Hmm.
thought about what I would be or guess I'd like.
Yeah.
So one that I like, okay, I think comes to mind right now. Settlers of Catan. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but that's a
It is a good strategy game, and you've gotta manage a lot of different towns in a lot of different ways, and you have 4 kids, and
Right, there you go. There is one that's fun. It's Labyrinth. This is a kind of a board game. I don't know if it really would mean if I was this game, but I guess I just like those games and
Yeah.
Labyrinth. Yeah. No.
Nice. Well, you shared the link for the book already, so we'll be sure to drop that link in the show notes so people can go and get your book. And
Right.
any other ways people can contact you?
So if you go to the landofallworkandnoplay.com, on there's a contact, and you can go there and you can send me a message that way, and I will reply as soon as I get that. And yeah, so should have
Nice.
my contact email on there, or they can email me at I have another one, mcreativeentertainment.com, which is another email that I use for
Nice.
my other business, but they could do that as well.
Awesome. Well, Susan, thank you so much for your time. We wish you the best of luck with your book, and I'm sure there's more coming down the pipe.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is great. And yeah, there may be down the line another book. We'll see.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode with Suzan Manis. It's a lot of fun. We'll catch you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Hacks and Hobbies. You can find additional information on the guest today on their website, hacksandhobbies.com. Please feel free to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss out on upcoming interviews with amazing guests.